Hello, friends. It's John Klein, third of episode 234 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, your premier Kitty Pryde, Locky, and Magic podcast. We're going to continue our dark web coverage of Mary Jane and Black Cat issue 2, and then we're going to spoil the heck out of Magik Colossus 5, X-Men United 4, Uncanny X-Men Volume 6, Issue 30, and Inglorious X-Force 6. Um, but first. We're getting an Aliens versus X-Men crossover, two of my favorite franchises. Karen Gillian and Geraldo Borges is the creative team for the main story. And then we're getting a Chris Claremont writing a Kitty Pryde focused backup feature in all four issues as she fights off both the Brood and the Xenomorphs. I can only hope that Loki will appear in the backup, but I don't know, I'm committed to getting all the Kitty Pryde covers. And I know she's already on the cover of the first issue, so. That's very exciting. And they also announced an Inferno Hulk versus Wolverine one shot, along with Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and Avengers. I've been really enjoying Inferno Hulk, so I'm all for at least supporting a Wolverine. And I imagine Jubilee would be there too, as she was with him at the end of Inferno Hulk 7. So we'll see, I don't know, how that works out. All right, everyone, to the main feature, Mary Jane and Black Cat 2. I got the Adam Hughes um demonized variant. Um, so let's see here. This came out in March of 2023, and so it's brought to us by Jed McKay, artist Vicio Caratu, color artist Brian Reber, letter VC's Ariana Maurer, and previously on Mary Jane and Black Cat. Mary Jane Watson and Felicia Hardy, aka the Black Cat, are in a bit of a jam. Ever since Ben Riley, aka Chasm, and Madeline Pryor, aka the Goblin Queen, opened the doors to Limbo, demonic spirits have been possessing everyday objects, wreaking havoc on New York City. Felicia made her way across the city to help MJ and her family as favor to Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. But when Felicia arrived, she was surprised to find MJ had powers and was fully capable of defending herself. Teaming up, the two women began to fight their way through the city while they were sucked through a portal into Limbo and found themselves face to face with Belasco, Limbo's former ruler, and my second least favorite Limbo related character. Issue opens, and you can follow along on my YouTube and TikTok channels at Jacko SII. But issue opens with them, the ladies too, with having a little meal with Belasco. Felicia's narrating. So, New York's gone to hell again, though perhaps it would be more accurate to say that hell has gone to New York. Because I now know a little bit about going to hell and what it entails. Hi, I'm Felicia Harding, the Black Cat, and this is Mary Jane Watson, who I guess has superpowers now, and we're on a job interview in hell. So then Belasco's explaining his goal. He had a soul sword, and then he lost it, and only these two can help him get it back. And then Mary Jane asks the obvious question of why don't you just get it? And he describes how it's in the Screaming Tower and he doesn't have access to it. But then we get the reason why I bought this issue for the Sweet Magic reference. And Belasco re says, however, my master ship over Limbo was surreped by the puppet who forged her own swole sword. With hers in hand and mine notably absent, I was deposed. But now, with Limbo and upset and the attentions of my former patrons directed elsewhere, it is time I took up my own swole sword and made it Limbo mine again. So, and honestly, that's all it takes for me to buy a comic is make a slight reference to magic. And so the ladies are off. But we see they're not alone. A bunch of other demons and my absolutely least favorite Limbo character, Sim, is on his way there as well. And then Belasco, before they depart, says, "Not when the ones you love are on Earth." And Mary Jane gives Felicia a cute, "Oh yeah, Felicia's in love. Come on, dish." And Felicia's narration box is like, because she's having feelings for Peter, but even though Mary Jane's dating Paul and is helping co-parent his two kids, Felicia's not ready to have that conversation. Belasco, we get a nice and ever has the destiny of Limbo been decided by Earth Girls, which I'm going to include on the Sunday posts, which will just have the cover, the magic reference into that one. But yeah, the Screaming Tower is gigantic. It's literally a tower. And Felicia's narrating, "I should just tell her. What could I hurt? It hurt. We're friends. We'll be fine. But I can't, can I? Not yet. We're on a job and we can't have the distraction of fighting over some boy. I sure can lie to myself, can't I?" And so then they're making their way through the beginnings of the tower. "This is not how I usually work. I make plans. I pay bribes, make maps, set up guys where I need them. I don't know what I'm doing mostly. I've got none of that here. Here, I've just got pure criminal instinct. That and Mary Jane Watson, she of the indeterminate superpowers and secrets, and of course, the thing. No, not Ben Grimm. That would be sick, though. Our secret weapon. Well, we have that. All the other jamokes looking for the same thing don't. A compass, our light in the darkness." And the compass is just a literal like lit compass, which was created by dramatic page Belasco ripping a piece of his own body out and giving it to them, which makes sense. Like it's a soul compass, so looking for a soul sword, they should find it. And then Mary Jane explains her new powers about her jackpot powers, where she, I guess, mentally envisions a power. It rotates, and if she gets one skull, it's bad enough. But if she gets two, it gets worse. And she hasn't seen a third um, skull yet, but she can only imagine how horrible that is. And then they're chased by a bunch of limbo zombies or creatures. And so then they start running off. We do see Mary Jane try to use a power up, but she does get one skull. So it's not a great power as she now is throwing feathers at people. And we will learn why she keeps getting bad powers in the next issue. And then they fall through a chasm. And Felicia narrates, "In a time like this, you find yourself asking questions. How is there a bottomless pit inside a tower? How can an army of cannibals live forever in the darkness? How is it I can't tell her the truth even though we're going to die? How is any of this fair?" And just like that, the grapple catches. And so they're getting pulled up. So Felicia's like, "That's weird. I wonder what I got snagged on." And dramatic page reveal. Sim is helping them. And there's one thing I can't stand. It's Sim trying to have some power over two young ladies. So next issue should be interesting. Though they don't count issue 3 as part of the Dark Web event, but I own it and we will be covering it. So, and there's a nice little rest in peace to Carlos Pochalo, fantastic artist. And he did the X-Men, he did Avengers, Fantastic Four. He pretty much just, he was a red hot artist and he was on all the titles. So yeah, so this everyone is Mary Jane and Black Cat 2. And then we will do 3, and then we do the X-Men, and then we will do Dark Web finale, which I don't know why I'm pretending I don't have the access to it right here. Dark Web Dawn, because the first one was Dark Web Dusk. So, thanks. So let's get to current books. I don't know why this hand looks like this. Is it supposed to be like a 3D effect or something on the cover? I don't know. So now we're in the monthly books. So happy Pride, everyone. I think I meant to start the episode with that, but Just hopefully everyone's having some good times out there. Montana doesn't do their Pride until like August, so but it's usually a great turnout, and downtown goes all out for it. But yeah, they wait until later, so I don't know the guy. I met the gentleman who runs it. He seems super fun and jolly, but I do not know why the delay. It's not like we're doing anything else in the month of June, but so Magic and Colossus 5, the final issue. Sadly, we are not getting a bonus issue. Writer Ashley Allen, artist Herman Peralta, color artist Arthur Helsey, letter VC's Ariana Maurer, and I got the variant cover by Benjamin Sue. Issue opens with Magik Colossus fighting Kashe, a character name I can't keep in my head. Magik doesn't have access to her magical abilities, and Koshe is on the attack. She's going to fight him off with her sweet S words as Colossus and Count Zhao go around breaking up Kashe's soul coins, which will only make him stronger, but then Magik and all the Russian magic folks will have their powers restored. We get a lot of great fight scenes between Magik and Kashe. Colossus and Cows are successful. Kashe is at full power, and the Rasputins have to regroup. We get another great moment, the siblings talking about their feelings. I like them addressing why Magik can't just leave and get the X-Men. They don't have the time for that. Kashe will surely defeat Colossus in that time. I also like them addressing how Magik won't let Colossus make the sacrificial play here either. He does have a plan, though, a beginnings of a plan. Kashe shows up to stop the nice moment we were having. Colossus defends his sister, which I absolutely love. He trusts her to make the right choices, and she does the Rasputin name proud, which really isn't that hard of a task. Magik comes back in full Dark Child mode, so they are definitely going to win this fight. She's no longer ashamed to show her brother her true self, and that confidence, they start attacking Kashe. We get Magik's side of the argument about how he wouldn't trust her soul in her brother's hands. Magik definitely trusts her soul in Colossus as we see him wielding her soul sword, which is always a cool visual. We saw it during Battle of the Atom, and we got a version of it recently in Uncanny X-Men, Who's Been Sleeping in My Bed arc. Like almost every boss fight in a video game, it all ends with a knockout that looks pretty cool. Are there video game boss encounters that don't end in a fight? I would like to play that game. I'm just not into battles in video games, which is odd as I just spent a lot of money on PS5 Wolverine. Maybe I'm into smaller fights, but the six-part battle sequences, those I'm just tired of. But also I'm old and just want to experience a great story. But like with Spider-Man 2, like I can do all those small fights, but as soon as you gotta fight Craven or Venom for a giant amount of time, it's just like why do they last so long? But I don't issue ends with Magik tying up Koshé and Colossus makes a bad joke. Ilyana can't think of a better one. They leave Koshé with his sister Lada, who appears to not have his best interests in mind. Colossus is going to stay in Russia as he has some business to take care of. And we get another great hug as our sweet conclusion. And then we finally get a letters page. I thought maybe we'll be getting letters every issue, as I've sent one every issue, but they went with my first letter, which would be my 13th letter overall. Lots of us really wanted a Katyana miniseries, which makes sense, and a few of us really wanted Colossus's beard back. But yeah, this was a great miniseries. Brr, brr, brr. And then we get X-Men United 4. So let's just get this out of the way. This issue doesn't have Kitty Pryde in it at all. Not even a hint or a reference or a mention. This is supposed to be the monthly title she shows up in, and we don't even get that. Nor any Marigold or Bronze. I'm just not sure what's happening with this title. It feels like a plot that would benefit from double shipping, but also I wouldn't want this title to double ship. Um, it's just disappointing as a Kitty Pryde fan. Like she was in Inferno Hulk 7, and like I don't think I've seen her in any other titles since then. But at least she's in Hellfire Murder and Aliens versus X-Men, but no, I just don't get it. So the main plot here is that Ben Liu from the Alaska X-Men is helping Iceman create a version of Dungeons and Dragons that Bobby's calling the Ancient Orc Aachen Arclight. Iceman has gathered Rogue, Death Dream, Cyclops, and Emma Frost, which I like conceptually the leaders of the three main books working together, if you consider this a main book, which I used to be at least a defender of it, but no Kitty Pryde. Plus, Bobby wants Schema to at least have a working relationship. Emma's late as she's having a meeting with Lourdes Chantel, who's alive again. Maybe she was resurrected when a slew of mutants were brought back at the end of Krakoa. That's how we got Forget Me Not back. He was at least seen on panel. Lourdes Chantel is back and apparently working for somebody. Emma doesn't seem too interested in this plot, making two of us. We get back into the orc adventure. Everyone's out, get some fun new outfits. We get hints that Ben Lau isn't in control of this realm. Rogue gets captured off camera. We do get a fun moment where Scott helps Emma and they look at each other meaningfully. Rogue apparently almost dies, but Death Dream brings her back, which is okay. Next issue cover that's shown shows us that Shadow King is back, so he's back to his villainous ways, which is a shame as his arc in New Mutants Volume 4 was pretty great. Um, Shadow King, Pyro, and Fred Dukes were all characters. I'm like, I want them to never be villains again, but time will tell. Then Uncanny X-Men Volume 630, we finally get to that dance that's been set up for a while now. Aliens are attacking the planet. A girl asks his ransom to a dance, but he's dating Oya, who doesn't appear, which seems to be a giant missed opportunity. And the girl runs off crying after Death Dream tries to explain to her about how he has an Alaskan girlfriend who lives in a abandoned factory that used to make Sentinels, so she thinks he's lying about the whole thing. But it was honest, but Ransom was just trying to like he was satisfied with, yeah, I have a girlfriend, sorry. And that should have been enough, but no Death Dream. He just doesn't have some social cues. Kalikio is looking for a nice gift for Jitter, who likes space stuff. She goes to a store of Gambit to look for the gift, and the store owner is a real jerk and makes Becca cry, and then Gambit like I don't know, grossly overreacts and beats the guy with a bat. But also, he shouldn't make Becca cry. She's the best. Um, Ember also doesn't appear in this issue, continuing a sad trend of my favorites not showing up this week. Kurt and Mackenzie are having a nice picnic. We get a hint that Mackenzie's baby daddy isn't a good guy. Kurt has a fighting alien he can't teleport, so that's odd. Um, I like Death Dream and his date Marls together. So Monet is the new warden of the prison. That doesn't seem ideal. She has to fight Sarah Grant, which is fine. She turns into Penance. But I honestly thought Monet was just gonna well, I thought she was gonna lead the Uncanny X-Men for one, but I also thought she was just gonna, open the doors and then let it just be the Xavier Institute again. But instead she's gonna keep everyone's power enabling collars on and just keep them in there, which does not seem ideal. Like keep Mr. Ellis in the prisoner X jail cell, but let everyone else free. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. Hopefully Dazzler was allowed to leave. Um, then we get back to the dance. I love so much Calitter dancing. They really are the best. The Brood attack Ransom after he was being tempted to work for Vig. The issue ends with Captain Ezra reveals the prison's real goal was to create new Wolverines, which also feels like sure. Um, so we do not get Monet running the team nor any interaction with Jubilee, but the arc just started, but still seems like an odd choice. Inglorious X-Force 6, I really like Miss Marvel's personal life being explored. Always good to know she's keeping up on her studies. I like Boo Boom and Akihiro's relationship continuing and how petty jealous Warren is. I don't like Domino not knowing who she is, but that'll get resolved eventually. So yeah, fun little team dynamics. Next week we're gonna get Moonstar 4, which is gonna be great. X-Men Volume 732, Wolverine Volume 822, which they did the preview pages, and Dr. Cecilia Reyes, who's in like a top 10 X-Men list for me. So I'm excited to see her. Generation X 23-5, X-Men Outback 1, Inferno Hulk 8, which the preview pages did show Glob was there, so I was right to um, you know, finish the series out. And then the Ultimate Universe is ending with Ultimate Endgame 5 and Ultimate Universe Finale 1. I do regret getting game Endgame 5, but the finale I'm hoping we at least get a Ultimate Wolverine send off. And then Ultimate Impact Reborn 2, which I'm already giving up on that series. So top X books thus far, number one, Magik Colossus 5 is going to be hard to beat. Moonstar 3, Inferno Hulk 7. I did like a major shift up of this, mostly because X-Men United 4 left me cold. So at number 4, X-Men United 1. Number 5, Avengers Volume 9, 34, Generation X 23, 1. X-Men 97, Season 2, 1. At number 8, Sorcerer Supreme 3. Number 9, Uncanny X-Men Volume 6, 28. And at number 10, Jay and Silent Bob, Jay's a Future Past for that sweet Lockheed cover. Um, I know, I'm looking at the list. We have not even got, like, we're in the middle of June now and still no present day Lockheed appearance. So that's disappointing. But we did get the solicitations, which you can read all my thoughts on it on the website shadowandflameofmagic.com. Um, but we are getting Aliens versus X-Men 1, Inferno Hulk versus Wolverine. We're getting Muppets Take the Marvel Universe, which I'm super excited about. The main cover has Storm, Emma Frost, and Logan. So hopefully, um, we do get proper X-Men in this. DNX 2. I'll want a cover of Magic. X-Men 29 and X-Men 30 are double shipping. I was hoping during DNX that we wouldn't get double shipping of X-Men. It's essentially triple shipping now. X-Men United 7 has Blade's daughter in it. So hopefully Kitty's on one of these covers. The Marvel Mangaverse is celebrating 25 years, and so I'm going to commit to the bookends of Web of Blood and Web of Destiny and hope that the new Magic is not in all 5 issues, but um I don't know, I'm tempted by Ghost Lock, which is Alyssa Wong returning to Psylocke, or a Psylocke as she fights Carnage. And then Ashley Allen, who I love, is writing an Avengers title with Bucky Barnes. So, oh, that should be fun. And then Jeff the Landshark Superstar 3. Hopefully Shatter Magic Shot, or whatever that character's name is, will be on a cover. And then I'm tempted by Godzilla Conquers the Multiverse 3, but I don't know. Emma Frost is still in it, but I don't know. September is usually we were coming off our tight month, so of the summer, but I don't know. We'll see how I feel adding these to the DCBS order. But that, everyone, was episode 234. If you want to follow me online, I'm on most socials at Jacko SII. Got on TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky. The podcast, the show, so is SNFWM. I'll definitely be posting on Sunday those 3 images, as well as the Instagram. It's getting very well, I don't know, it's getting popular in my respect, but more people are liking the posts and joining, following the account. So thank you all those. Thank you everyone who watched and listened to the last episode. Those YouTube numbers were pretty impressive. So hopefully you all came back for this episode, I hope. And um and of course the second home of the internet, the Shadow and Flame of Magic.com, where you can read all my thoughts on various comics and announcements. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but no, I think usually I forget the website. So, oh, and the website's turning 13 at the end of the month, so that's exciting. And so I've been writing up the stats and everything, and I don't know, hopefully that's just a good yearly post that we do. And but looking at the doing that post, I can't believe I've been podcasting for 3 years or 3.5 years now. And just thank you everyone who's listened and um sends the encouragement and everything. Just really appreciate all of you. And until next time, please don't have any shadows of doubts. Ignite those flames and make like magic and have a great week, everybody. Bye.